Hello everyone, welcome to our Let's Play series of Pathfinder Kingmaker. This is Colonel RPG as usual, and I'm very happy that you're chose to join me today as we have a chat with Owlcat Games, whom we saved on the road, and now he's here. I need the help of a cleric. Yes, I need Valerie to be cured of her blindness. But unfortunately, Valerie actually. Ooh. Wait a minute, what? Oh. Oh yes. Oh yeah. Okay. Oh, this is great. This is great. That's not the help of a cleric. I mean, it is. The thing is, it's more than that. It's the thing. So, can I search? No, I can't. So I want the cure blindness. And he's got a lot of spells. Let's sort by price. Ascending. Start with the cheap ones, hopefully. Remove sickness, diamond dust. Dust left cutting a diamond. Get left from cutting a diamond? Merchant would pay well for it. Okay. Cure moderate wounds. Oh, those are pretty expensive. Resist paralyses. Oh no, it's very expensive, isn't it? I mean, I have money. I hope he... Oh, there it is. Yeah, it's not that expensive. It's okay. Deal. Thank you. Thank you very much. Then I'll figure out how to cure her. There it is. Okay, so where is my... where did I put it? Over here? Over here, okay. So, the game is very quiet because the horses whine. And, yeah, and it's... Yeah. Okay, so there it is. I can use it. So, I can go up to Valerie. Hey, Jethal, how's it going? Can I talk to you? Maybe. That's the horses. That's why I did that. Yeah, apparently she doesn't have anything new to talk about. It'd be fun if they did. One of the things that I didn't actually do very well, but I did enjoy a lot from the Shadowrun is that in between missions we'd talk to the team, and that'd be pretty cool. Although they do talk elsewhere and all that, so I think that's okay. Valerie, I need... Yes, bye. I need to do this. Lovely. Lovely. Okay. Now she's not blind anymore. Yeah, everything is good. Let's go back to Jord Kavkek. Something. And you might be wondering why I'm so slow. It's because I'm overloaded. Even though we rested relatively recently. Wait a minute. I don't want that as a right click. No, go away. Stop. Normal attacks. I found the Temple of Elk and killed the beast there.
Erastil be praised, you finally returned, my good friend. Tristian told me how you helped him at the Temple of the Elk. Thank you for heeding my request. My heart is calm and filled with confidence that I've followed the will of my God. I would like to reward your bravery. I possess no treasure, but please, take this as a token of appreciation.
I like that. I'll do something different, though. Do you understand the true meaning of your visions now?
I trust in their truth. These visions, they were the voice of Erastil himself. Quiet, but clear. Before all this happened, I believed Erastil had turned his back to me. But now, I see clearly. He has shown me divine mercy, for he has led me to you, and invited me to aid in a fellow priest's deliverance. Lady Sarenrae and Erastil walk the paths of the gods hand in hand, and so must their servants as well. Tristian is undoubtedly still very young, and youth is a time of naivete and confusion. But I see kindness and strength of spirit in him, traits indispensable to a priest. I sense that all that's transpired thus far is only the beginning, and the future promises great things for Tristian and for you, Baroness. This is why Erastil led me to the Temple of the Elk. Day and night I pray for you and for my young friend. May the stag god lead you down the true path.
I think he's getting ahead of himself a little bit there. Also, his voice is very soothing, and it's dissuaded me, even without the intention of that, from save scumming, which is what I was going to do. I was going to reload. And you know what? 325 gold. It's nothing. That's enough.
As you wish.
Thank you. Tell me about the visions that led you to the Temple of Elk.
That's why I'm here.
Yes.
As you wish.
Tell me about yourself, Jod.
What exactly would you like to know?
The past.
My story? Why not? You deserve to know it. I am a priest of Erastil, and Galt is my homeland. You can imagine what it's like following the teachings of the stag god in a realm torn by discord and strife. Rebellion and suspicion are the pillars of Galt. Led by Erastil, I tried to guide my flock to embrace tranquility and balance, and guard them from hasty judgment, until I fell from grace myself. Foolish, foolish old Jod. My misdeeds cast a shadow over my life and service. In search of redemption and a balm for my soul, I took to the road. I had come nearly to despair when Erastil sent me a vision of the Temple of the Elk. I knew that very moment that the stag god had shown me the way to redemption.
What did you do to anger him?
Well, if you truly wish to know, I'll have to start from the long time back. Werewolves preyed upon the lands around my village.
It's always werewolves.
They murdered people for fun or sport and left the corpses to rot on the roads. One night, they broke into a young woman's house and dragged her into the streets.
I imagine they were doing that many times, but what did you expect them to do with the corpses, Captain? I mean, yes, they murder people for fun and sport, sure, but did you expect them to bury them?
One evening,
They're not bandits.
a traveler came to our tavern,
I guess.
tattered and dirty from days on the road, like so many others
Wait a minute.
roaming Galt. He sat quietly in the corner of the tavern, drinking cheap ale, and in an instant, I knew he was a werewolf. I felt it in my soul. It was like Erastil himself had whispered it into my ear.
It was like that mission in Neverwinter Nights. So one night they broke into a young woman's house and dragged her into the streets, and he just leaves it there. And he just doesn't continue that. I think that's the whole story. Okay.
Led by Providence, I left to gather my flock, and we surrounded the tavern. The retribution was swift. However, I was tragically mistaken. The young man was no werewolf. He was a bandit, sent to spy on the village by one of the local gangs. We only found out after, when we went through his things.
You should have stayed your hand and discovered the truth before you acted, I guess.
Indeed. I remind myself of this every day when I awaken, and again when I go to sleep. I, who admonished my fellow citizens for the chaos they spread and the transgressions they made, but then I myself.
And he frowns.
Whatever the case, I knew Erastil was no longer pleased with me. It was terrifying.
His voice wavers. Even now, one can glimpse inside him the remnants of the horror he lived through.
Imagine how my mind raced when here in the Stolen Lands I heard the voice of the stag god once again. He gave me another chance at service to atone for my guilt. Now I have regained hope, and that very hope is my most precious possession.
What can you tell me about your homeland, Galt?
For some, it is a land of freedom, where power belongs to the people, not to lords or kings. For others, it's a land of never-ending revolution, a realm surrendered to anarchy. It depends on who you ask.
That kind of sounds like the same thing to me. Right? It's like just different ways of putting it. I don't know.
For me, I found Galt a violent place. Crowds eager to lynch a stranger for that accent or appearance, where a single word uttered at the wrong time or place can spark the people to riot and cities to burn.
Okay, that's not the power. Okay, then there's no power to the people then, I guess. If we're just gonna a single word can control them, I guess that's not a whole lot of power there.
For me, It is a place inhabited by the frightened and the desperate,
Yeah.
always suspicious, watchful of trickery. All too often they are deaf to the voice of reason. They cannot grasp that chaos and lawlessness lead only to yet more chaos and lawlessness. All my life I've tried to break through to these poor people, but alas, I don't seem to have made much progress.
That's not an argument. It's not like violence leads only to more violence. Because what are you trying to make? Chaos and lawlessness to prevent chaos and lawlessness? That's not what they are trying to do. Especially if they like the whole anarchic, in the way you put it, state to be the blend of the free, even though they get riled into a mob at the mere word. It's okay. And they are also afraid? That doesn't... Anyway, that's good.
As you wish.
Tell me about Erastil.
Of course. It would be my pleasure. Erastil is one of the eldest gods of Golarion. His faith emerged when the first people appeared upon the land. Erastil helped our ancestors cultivate the land and hunt. Even now, his blessing lies with those who uphold the old traditions and keep to simpler ways, far from civilization and the noise of the city.
I find it very weird that this... It doesn't look like it's an option. It looks like it's a way to continue things. I find it very weird that she'd be that my character would be defensive regarding a god that apparently likes the ways of nature for clerics and priests, not clerics and priests, for druids. Isn't he a druid? He is a druid. So why would she be defensive about that? I'm not gonna do that. What does Erastil demand of his faithful?
The word
it's not an option.
demand does not befit the stag god. Honesty and friendship, loving families, merry weddings, and newborn children in their mother's arms, they bring a smile to Erastil's face. He loves his people and rewards them with fortunate hunts and plentiful harvests. But he has no temper for sloth and vanity. He never bestows gifts upon his faithful without first measuring their worthiness. We ourselves must win our daily bread, but the stag god comes to our aid in times of need and strife.
Sounds like an easy way to blame the people who don't get that aid and just be like, oh, you weren't faithful enough. Anyway, what I said, this isn't an option. It's like, it's not... We're not being given an option. It's like a dialogue tree. This would unlock another line where he would say, oh, but you misunderstand, or oh, you just don't know, or yeah, but see the smell, or something like that. And besides, it's not like, I mean, sure, the problem is here is civilization. You're equating cities to civilization, and that's not quite true. And as for it to foster science and trade and invention, that's not historically speaking, that's not correct. Yeah, well, I guess civilization does do that, but cities don't. Cities themselves don't do that. And in fact, we see the birth of civilization. No, actually, I was gonna say the birth of... well, we see the Greek cities and the Cretan cities before that. Not other civilizations had cities for sure, but the Crete cities were a mixture of the herb and the mountain and the fields and all that sort of stuff, and all of that made up the whole city itself. Or the whole polis, I guess. And that horse, I swear I'll kill it one of these days. But yeah, so it's and they did well with the sciences and trades and inventions, and they weren't really very focused on. In fact, a lot of their scientists and inventors were not big fans of cities. But of course that changed. It's just a matter of tradition, really. But that's why I find it to be a defensive line. It's just be like, oh, how dare you have a god that doesn't like cities. Anyway, I've always had respect for Erastil and his priests. Have I? I haven't. No, actually, I have. My character has. She has. I've long felt that Erastil was a worthless god. Yeah, let's go to the respect one.
I see it more clearly every day. Erastil himself led me to meet you. Your keen spirit will serve you well.
Yes, it will. To each their own, I guess. I wanted to ask you something else.
I am happy to help.
Thank you for the story. Speak later. How I wish that was Amiri just smacking that horse, and I can't even see the horse. Oh! No, there's a dog. It's not a horse. That horse doesn't... That dog doesn't do that noise. Anyway, let's go inside. I really don't like that we're slow. It's just... Ugh. We're almost not slow, though. Inside, well, we can go inside and drop the stuff in there. Because we can definitely do that. Did I talk to... I didn't talk to Bokken. I can do that on my way back. Ooh, I'm fast in here. Keston Garrus and Anoriel 8 Eyes. No new lines. Svetlana. Good day to you. Do you need anything? Yes, I found your ring, Svetlana. Kressel the bandit who had it tried to kill me and died in the fight. Oh, I suppose I should tell you about the truth. About her. Kressel wasn't her real name, says Svetlana. Her name was Irena. Before all this, she was the daughter of my mother and her second husband, my half-sister. I can't help but feel like everything that happened to her was my fault. She did ask me not to kill her, didn't she? Yes, she did. Well, it didn't go well. She always had a wildness to her. She'd wander the streets hanging out with a bad crowd until the day she passed. But that was the other day. Mother complained about Irena constantly. Back then it was just cruel games and strange escapades. She never really hurt anyone back in Rostov that you know of. Her father didn't live much longer than our mother, so I decided to try to help Irena. I brought her here to the Stolen Lands, though Oleg was against it, and once here she immediately fell under the Stag Lord's influence. She never even needed to meet him. The stories and rumors from local hunters and bandits were enough to win her over. She would tell us how he was a real leader, unlike Restov's, she said, softies, she called it. Eventually she ran away, only to return under a new name with a pack of thugs to collect taxes, as she put it, from us. What's worse, she participated in the torture and execution of prisoners outside of Stag Lord's minions. And now, meeting such an end, I realize you did what you had to. Perhaps it's all for the best, but still I wonder if everything could have turned out differently. Now, thank you for returning my ring to me. I truly appreciate it. Now, if you don't mind, I think I'd like to be alone for a little while. Yes. I'm sorry for your loss. I guess. Yeah, I don't like her. Snuts, yeah. What you guys doing up here? Tristian, can I talk to you? Don't worry about me. Jod says I'll be fine soon, he says. Hey, Regongar. Oh, what do you want? Have a little chat? Alright. That's not like we have anything better to do. Oh, I like the sound of that. Tell me about yourself, Regongar, as I twirl my hair with a finger. What is there to know? I was born, I'm alive, haven't died yet. That enough for you? And I'm gonna laugh and softly touch his shoulder and be like, oh, you're so witty. But I do a better job because I'm very good at persuasion. Do you remember your childhood? Oh yeah, tell me how you tell me about your childhood. It's something like that. I'm trying to put my moves on. I'm terrible at that myself, but my character is not. So yeah, Regongar scowls, and that cat meowing all the while. It's so weird. Oh, what a crap question. Oh boy, that's okay. Well, nice meeting you, Regongar. You do your own thing. I was just a kid when they sold me. Before that, I don't remember much. Smoky fires, stinky hides, always bumping along on a horse. I think I was born in one of the Khalid tribes of Numeria. There are many. Some survive on their own, some give up their pride and serve the Technique League. I guess mine was one of the cowards, if they sold their own kids. I remember my father's hands, rough, scarred, white. So I guess I get this green skin from my mother. But I don't remember her. I think I remember playing with another half-orc child. Brother, maybe. For some reason they didn't sell him, just me. Father gave him his dagger to play with. Never gave it to me. I don't want to remember. Forget all this. I'm an orphan. And he waves his hand wryly. So he doesn't remember his mother. And it's actually not true that he need to get that color of the skin from his mother. It could be just, maybe it's from a grandparent. It's just how things work. I grew up a slave. That I remember well. So many things burned into my memory. Most of all, I remember her. My Octavia. Today we're almost the same age. But back then she was twice as young as me. Just a child, but a brave one. Cunning, bold, and beautiful. The most beautiful girl in the world. Hey! Well, I guess I don't care anymore. What deity do you worship, jerk? Never got much help from the gods so far. And if you made me choose, I'd say Callistria. Who else would I worship? The savored sting, the goddess of pleasure, fun, and revenge? Oh yeah. Wait a minute, what? Callistria? Also known as the Savored Sting. Okay, so he wasn't asking. It's like he wasn't enumerating other gods that he wouldn't worship. It was just he's saying Callistra is the Savored Sting, the goddess of pleasure and fun and revenge. Yeah. So where'd you get your magical powers? Bet it wasn't from your smarts, you jerk. What magical powers? The hell are you talking about? Oh, you mean these? He makes a lightning run over his hand. He makes lightning run over his hands with a contented smile, then snaps his fingers, evoking a shower of blinding sparks. I've had them since I was born. At least one thing I can thank my scum parents for. Or maybe your grandparents. Maybe these powers are why they sold me to slavery. Think they were scared? Who knows? Damn Lemurians. At least the Technique League they drew my... At the Technique League they drew my blood, did experiments, burned me with fire, tortured me with cold electricity, and they told me, you won't believe it, they told me I have blue dragon blood in my veins. Not bad, huh? I'm a dragon, you freaks. Come check my blood if you dare. Grinning, Regongar strikes his palm with a fist, and another fountain of electric sparks shoots upwards. What does that remind me of? Dragon blood. I've played a game that was like that recently. It's like the blood of the dragon. I mean, and I'm not talking about A Song of Ice and Fire, because that's also another example of that. I could swear I played a game that was like that. What do your tattoos mean? Okay, now you can ask. Now you can say this is a stupid question. I hope he does. He doesn't, because he's a jerk. He's a terrible person. They're magical. They help me control my powers. The Technique League gave them to me. I'd hoped that somewhere on my body there were at least one sign left by my tribe, but nah. I guess they didn't care to bother. Or they just weren't scum that tattooed their kids. Well, I guess if the kid was... He was sold as a baby, so... Anyway, if the kid was, you know... If the kid wanted to, I guess that's not bad, but... You know, he didn't even remember his mother, so... Yeah, I guess he would be bad, right? You don't do that to a kid. Come on, let him choose. Or her. To hell with them, he says. They better hope I never find him. If I ever meet my father, I will even the score between us, even though he never tattooed me. Okay, how do you manage to use both a sword and magic, and not cut off your fingers? Well, simple. I'm just that bloody good. And he gives a contented grin. Do you enjoy making people suffer? Nah, why should I care about their suffering? I do what I want. If I step on someone's toes, then they shouldn't have put themselves in my way. But chasing someone down just to torture them, that's only entertainment for maniacs like the Technique League. Well, on second thought, yeah, for them I would make an exception. I love to watch as I fry them nice and slow. But why do you ask? Do my methods shock you? He clenches his fist, buzzing with sparks, and laughs loudly at his joke. Can I just not care? Can I just say I don't care? I hope I can. It seems to me you're no more than a common felon. Felon? Doesn't a felon require law? There's no law here. He's not a felon. Especially coming from a country that enslaved him. It's calling a slave a felon. Oh boy, if you treat your enemies like that, what makes you better than them? Well, that's not an argument, that's just a question, and he's probably not going to give the right answer, which is, I don't care to be better than them, which is probably what he would do. Also knowing his alignment, chaotic evil. So long as you're in my party, try to control yourself. I don't like meaningless atrocities. That sounds good to me. I'll probably go with that. I, for one, enjoy the torments of others. That sounds too vague and generalizing. Very amusing, and you're right. If someone gets in your way, it's their own fault. Ha ha ha. No, I'm not gonna laugh. I did that at the beginning, and he didn't care. I didn't do because the game didn't allow me to. But anyway, so long as you're in my party, control yourself. If you say so, you're the boss. We'll make sure all our atrocities are meaningful. Aha. I wouldn't want to upset the boss. The boss. Yeah, thank you for your answers. So... Tell me about your life in Numeria. Actually, it springs to my mind, not that I can draw any conclusions, but it springs to my mind that Octavia flirted with me. At least, well, I guess she did something that the narrator said it was flirtatious. So I guess, yeah, she did. But they seem to have a relationship. Of course, it could be a sort of open relationship that it's all fine, or she might be trying to, she might be going for an out or something. She's recognized that he's a jerk. and maybe we could work together to undermine him. I wonder. So tell me about your life in Numeria. You mean my life as a slave? I didn't see much, except for the slave barracks and the League's twisted laboratories. How did you happen to become a slave? I was sold by my own tribe when I was just a little brat. The half-orc clenches his teeth, then spits on the ground and steps on it with his boot. So I grew up in a slave barracks. I was raised to be sold like a battle animal. They tried to break me, but they picked the wrong brat. No matter how much you beat this animal, he only gets angrier. And the well, I guess you were broken already then, I guess. The half-orc punches himself in the chest and snarls. Why did your masters teach you magic? Can't you guess? Because magic is in my blood. It's why they bought me. I wasn't raised as some lowly mob slave, but as a murder machine. I'd fetch quite a nice sum of gold. You might also ask if they knew I'd take the first opportunity to rip their own guts out, using everything they taught me. Ha, of course they did. But that's the Technique League. They calculate risk. Also, it occurs to me that the fact that he's a jerk has to do with his alignment, which I'm not a big fan of that. It is a very cool thing to write likable characters that are absolutely horrible. And if you have an alignment system like this one, then you have a very specific definition for absolutely horrible. Just make them likable. Then, add, to the... Most people play good characters, right? There's people who play bad characters sometimes, or all the time, maybe. But the majority of people play good characters. It's always a fun thing to have a good character deal with a person who's likable and is evil. I can't come up with a example though. I mean, I can. There was this character in Mass Effect 2, but I wouldn't really consider her evil, to be honest. There is Viconia in Baldur's Gate 2 and 1 as well. I think I don't remember her character, and I don't know if she's evil. But yeah, there is also I had another one in mind. But I don't remember. But yeah, it's a cool thing. Oh, yeah, I don't remember. I had one in mind. It was from a book, but I was trying to remember which book. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But you know what I mean? It would be cool, but no, he's just a jerk. Octavia kept pretending to be simple-minded so they wouldn't expect anything of her, but I made every effort, though they didn't teach me much. What is there to teach? It's not a book magic, it's innate. They made me practice with my sword more, but I did my best in everything. I studied all I could. They knew they were raising an enemy, but they thought they could keep me on a short leash. Or sell me to someone with deep pockets, so I'd become someone else's problem. But who won in the end, huh? Who's free? Who will bury them all? Well, didn't bury the other ones. You were just left them to rot. The half-orc makes an obscene gesture in the northwestern direction towards Numeria. What else did you see beyond your life in chains? What could I have seen? Well, when I ran, we went through Starfall. That's a fine city. Big, loud, many merchants, things to see, things to steal. But I didn't have much chance to walk around. It's the very nest of the sodding Technique League. We're focused more on getting out alive. We met some barbarians. I asked them who might know what tribe I'm from, but they didn't know anything. I don't have any tribal tattoos. Nothing. Actually, they're all right. Wait a minute. Actually, they are all right. Well, some of them, he says. The tattoos are right. Or do you mean they're all right as in, oh, they're all right, the tattoos. They're all, Anyway. The Bloodgars, for one, they're great. All the rivers are theirs. We sailed with them during one of our escapes, almost all the way to Brevoy, and they didn't turn us in. But the White Scars got us after that. Those guys are shit. They've sold their pride to the Technique League. Oh, one more thing. One time, Octavia and I tried to escape and stumbled across a Numerian monster. I'll never forget it. A huge spider the size of a house, made of metal, spitting fire, shooting deadly rays all around. I think could probably tear even a dragon to pieces. Ruined our escape plans, too. We had to go back. Oh. Did you and Octavia try to escape? He just said it a bunch of times, but it's just, the dialogue lines. What do you think? Of course we tried. I stopped counting how many times. Jumped from windows, dug tunnels, choked out guards, or seduced them. Well, I didn't do that because I'm an unlikable jerk, but you know what I mean. That happened too, but those dirtbags caught us every time. Every bloody time. My back is covered with whip scars. Lucky we were... apparently not tattoos. They're just whip scars. Lucky we were prized property. They'd spend too much gold on us to kill us. Anyone else would be hung and forgotten. They kept trying to break us and recoup their expenses. I don't know whether I could have survived by sheer stubbornness if it weren't for Octavia. I probably couldn't have. I would have just given up and died, but I had to pull my girl out of that meat grinder, and she believed in me and had enough hope for us both. When I lay there with my back slashed to pieces, she whispered to me about the Reaver Kingdoms. I'm thinking of other things, that's why I'm sort of stumbling. Where there's no slavery, where everyone can go wherever they want and take wherever they want. Wait a minute, there's a bit of a problem here. Well, I guess maybe not a problem. I don't really... I got the impression that he was half her age when they met her. But when she was twice as young as me... What does it mean to be twice as young? She was half your age. Yeah, she was just a child. Which means that if he was 20, he's now 30, and she was 10, and now she's 20. Okay, sure. It's not creepy or weird. It's good. Anyway. I'll be damned, but I thought she was just making this up to keep us, to keep our hopes alive, and now it turns out to be true. All of it, every last word. No chains, no slaves, no laws. Just live and be happy. Is slavery illegal in Numeria? Well, sometimes yes, sometimes no. There are some laws against it, but even in Starfall, a third of the people live in bondage. And that's the capital. In regions where the Black Sovereign's hands don't reach, they hold to tribal customs instead of laws. The barbarians don't keep slaves. Instead, they have thralls. Like big bloody difference. I'm sure they don't share the same word, so... Apparently they speak the same language, and they just have a different word for it. Because a thrall is a slave. But anyway. And on top of all that mess, there's the Technique League. Law and custom mean nothing to those slime balls. Just take whatever and whoever they want. No, thank you for your answers, I guess. What kind of relationship do you have with Octavia? Well, my Octavia and I don't have a relationship. We have a life together. Yeah, you don't know what you also don't know what... Oh, seriously. What? Like, you have a relationship with me. Especially when I'm asking what kind of relationship. I'm not asking you about your relationship with her. And then you could think, oh no, it's not a relationship. It's sort of, you know, it's a, you know. But no, he's even going further beyond the it's like, we'll have a life together. Like, that's more than a relationship, right? That's like a big relationship. Like, I don't know what to explain it. You know what you might know what I'm trying to say. How did you meet? Back when we were children. Well, she was, I wasn't. We were taken as apprentices by a great spellcaster, Janusz. Master Janusz, he called himself. He was our teacher. Well, he made Octavia read books and memorize spells. I have my own innate magic. He trained me a bit, taught me how to control my gifts so I wouldn't lose control and incinerate myself like a dumbass. Oh, teacher, we will meet again. There's one more test I must pass. But you were asking about my Octavia, or Octavia. I don't know how to... I'll settle in over time. We'll figure it out. We've been together all our lives. We learned everything together. How to weave magic, how to survive, and as we grew older, we learned how to love. Without each other, we would have never gotten out of there, that's for sure. We would have given up and surrendered to death. But together, it's a very different story. Not the first time, and not the 10th, but eventually we made it out. Why do you call her yours? She doesn't seem to like that very much. She doesn't? I didn't notice that. Oh boy. Just adds... Oh my god. My girl loves freedom so much that even a slight chance of losing it frightens her. And I love to frighten her, apparently. Yeah, she's so smart. You really think she feels like I'm trying to make her mine? Like an apple stolen at a market? That's not what I said. I didn't... No, I don't know. Me who was skinned alive for trying to escape her... To help her escape? If she's afraid of the word my, it's because she doesn't understand the difference between my boots and my heart. But she will understand sooner or later. Yes, that I was correct when I said that you just like making her frightened. Was it? Yeah. I suppose. Lovely abusive relationships, aren't they? Well, it's not. It's not really. I mean, it doesn't hit her, hopefully. But anyway, are you and Octavia faithful to each other? Octavia and I are connected, and this connection cannot be broken. We grew into each other, you know, like trees, apparently. Jealousy is four weak cowards. I'm sorry, I misread the four. Who don't trust each other and are scared of being tricked. If a knight on the side threatens your love, that just means there was no real love there to begin with. Does it? Does it threaten your love? She and I are together to the end, and we will never part from each other. So when she likes some lad or some lass, it's no drama to me. Well, I guess that explains... I guess he's sort of admitting that she does like some lad or some lass every once in a while. And I guess that explains what I said before about her, you know, being flirtatious. Although, of course, flirting is not liking someone, but I don't judge if that was indeed the case. And anyway, I just ask her whether she wants me to leave them alone or join in. And she does the same. Well, apparently she does the same. Okay, so yeah, okay. What are you judging? What, are you judging us? He asks. Or maybe you just want to join in our tent, I'm more concerned that that you don't, you know, I don't like that he sort of at least treats her in a way that the thing is I couldn't get her. I couldn't I didn't notice this. I didn't see this. Maybe it's because I didn't read the narrator lines. But I'm more concerned about that. And I also don't like you because you're a jerk. But let's see. You can do that. I'm more here to judge. Just curious. I might say this if it didn't have the W. What is this, anime? Can I get my full red face? What? No, I'm not here to just judge. I'm just curious. Actually, I am here to judge. This is the best line I have. You asked, I answered. When you got defensive. You didn't answer, you got defensive. And also, you definitely didn't answer. You just were saying things. When you, because you really didn't. It would be so simple to just answer yes. But anyway, he didn't. He just went on a tirade about how I was judging him. You answered, when you pry into others' lives, don't be surprised if you find something that will keep you up at night. Is that supposed to be a pun? No. Thank you for your answers. What did you say when you were killing Kalana? What? Ah, that. Callistria's holy words. I stab thee with my heart. We say that when we get our vengeance. Those words make it so much sweeter. Yes, that's not. It's not problematic at all. You're definitely not a sociopath, psychopath. That's the word. Yes, I do. Yeah, I have to go. So long. If you want to know anything else, just ask. Don't be shy. Just don't go pale when I answer, or full beet red, apparently. Yeah, and we need to talk to Octavia regarding all of that. But for right now, I'll leave. Let's see. Can I double click? Nah. Can I divide? How is that? Alt, Shift. Well, I'll figure this out. I do have to take care of my inventory and put it in here. But we are also out of time, so yeah, let's talk to Octavia next episode. For right now, I'm Colonel RPG, and this has been Pathfinder Kingmaker. I really hope you've enjoyed it, and if you did, go ahead and leave a comment. Like the video if you want to see the next episode come out sooner rather than later. But above all, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you next episode. Bye-bye.